Oh no, my stuff isn't set up. Dang it. I thought I had it set up earlier. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta do this. Let's see. Window capture. Hey, what's up, Crypto Soldier? How you doing, man? Just trying to get my. Okay, so that's Bybit. This one's Chrome. Gotcha. There we go. Boom. Hey, what's up, Angel Tech? How you doing, man? Dude, I'm so glad, man. This morning, it was such a close call. Okay, so I woke up to my alarms going off. Because I was holding along. But then on the mid time frames, I saw that we were close to the breakout zone of the triangle. And as we came in, we got the under symbol, so I switched short, set my target. My target was 7,800, just about that zone. Set my take profit, put a long in just below that, and then boom, back to back trades. It was, I love it so much. And then this is my current setup for the current triangles. What's up, Julian? How you doing, man? You're up a couple 100%, dude. Dude, this is the perfect range for scalping as well. I mean, like these scalps have been phenomenal. Just took a little bit of profit on this one right here. Um, I did throw back in another short, just based on the ascending triangle that we're kind of getting stuck into. I do want to see the price go a little bit lower, probably down to one of these supports, and then probably get it caught into an ascending triangle there, just to break out to the upside. If not, I do have a stop set in place at about 8,040, just above this trend line. And then we should see some price action coming up here soon because we are getting caught in another little bubble. But on the higher time frames, we are, kind of in a clear zone. We have a little bit of time to kind of just chill and relax. Um, you can see where this kind of ends. I would assume it's going to break out somewhere around 2 a.m. Tonight is probably when it's going to break out. If not, um, this triangle won't be the one that's in play. Maybe this bigger triangle. Let me see if I can highlight it for you. I know it's kind of hard to see what I'm looking at. Let's see. I don't want to get it caught on the lines again. Um, Potentially this could be the triangle that's in play. Uh, Not the smaller one, which is right here. This would be the support, and then this would be the resistance. But if that does play out, we could get a nice long coming out of this triangle into this triangle, and it probably break out upwards, and then probably stop out at about 8,249, and then probably get caught in a consolidation for a hot second, and then maybe we'll dump again. That would always be fantastic. Cheaper Bitcoin. Uh, it's like a flash sale on Bitcoin for just a hot second. Yeah, I called up my stepdad and I was like, okay, I need you to buy 50% of all the Bitcoin money that you have put away right now. Not before we dumped, but right now, like a couple hours ago. And I was like, if it drops any more, buy the other 50% because it's not going lower. Um, like we were going over in the stream the other night, on the 3-day chart, let's go ahead and take a look at that. I did update the fibs, just a little bit on those. Oh shoot, this is not the correct one. I don't have the 3-day fibs on that. Why don't I have the 3-day fibs? Okay, let me expand this again. This one has the 3-day fibs. All right. So on the 3-day fibs, you can see that I thought that was a wick for a second. I was like, what just happened? But what is that a fib line? What is that? Is it a trend line? This is this is a fib. Where did this fib come from? What the hell? But you can see that we've kind of been stuck in this consolidation period up here, but we're just in a gigantic consolidation period. I mean, it's it's nothing new. But if we do hold support here, I would be expecting a breakout either to the upside or to the downside, coming around, you know, early November. If not, if we do fall lower and find support off of this, the next peak would be around the 15th of December. But they always do like to break out sooner rather than later. Um, if we do break out to the downside here, off the 3-day fibs, I would be assuming that we're gonna come down to about $6,000. We should find support off of the 7,000, the lower 7,000s first. But if not, that would be like our last line of defense. Um, we're still in a bull market, don't get me wrong, but the vision that a lot of people have is this was the consolidation period of the bull market and we should have gone upwards. But I'm telling you that this going all the way out to 2021, this could be potentially the consolidation period. I don't think it's going to go out all the way into 2021. I do think, either late October, um, uh, late December, or April is where we're going to actually see the price continue upwards. Um, and that would make sense for us to break out upwards a little bit before the halvening event. And then once the halvening happens, then the price, really starts picking up some steam. That's what it's done in the past. So this is just the way it's currently looking right now. Um, we do have a wick below the fib fan, but as you can see over here, we've had many, many wicks below fib fans, but they've always kind of bounced off. Um, but we do have some potential to go to the downside once again. I would like to see a pretty good bounce and maybe continue this pattern out a little bit. Um, Potentially getting stopped out at about right here at about 9,200. Where do you anchor your fib fan? So this fib fan I started from all the way back here at about $4,000. And you can see this anchor right here. This is vertical with my low point and horizontal with my high point. And the purpose of the fib fans is to keep them as symmetrical as possible. But also, another trick I found out, okay? The one fib fan being the one that you kind of like take and put in a certain place to make the full pattern. You want to keep that in line with as much of the price action as possible. And you can see we did the exact same thing with the down channel uh uh one fib fan. We kept it in line with it as much as possible. And this is how it currently looks, just for the macro time frames. So we're currently coming up, to another breakout. You can see right here we got to this first breakout, and the target for this one was the length of this. And you can see we broke out at the very, very tip of it. We take the price action there. You see how amazing that is? Do you see how we're we hit the target, guys? We hit the target. So based on that consolidation, we have hit the bottom of the technical analysis. Could we go lower? Yes. Um, but do we have to? No. The technical analysis is saying, okay, we reached our target. We're probably going to bottom out and potentially see a retrace. So hopefully that's what's going to happen, but definitely pay attention to the indicators and pay attention to where the breakouts happen. I think I deleted one of the fib fans, or I might have moved it because that's not lining up. Okay, let me go back to the 5 minute. Let me see if it fixed itself. You keep trying to scroll into my chart. I feel the pain. I feel the pain. So I don't know what happened to my down channels. Oh, I think I was showing somebody something and it got caught up. Okay, let's get our down channels set up. So we got cross section between the high and low right here. Bring it in line with as much of the price action as possible. Take it down. Boom. We got our nice John fan setup. So you can see that we currently were in this little pennant pattern. just right here, just on a very, very small time frames. This is a 1 minute, and you can see that was the target. Price action broke out here. You can see we pretty much hit the target almost exactly. We bounced off that resistance I was talking about. It's probably going to be just following this for a little bit. I would like to see it break out lower. If we do see it break out lower, let's say it breaks out right about here, that would bring us back down to support. That could be a small scalp that somebody could take if that does go through. We do have an over on this, so it might break out to the upside. Who knows? If it does break out to the upside, it'll pretty much take us to that resistance that we were at all day before we got that this minor drop, which you can see highlighted by this white line. And currently, we are in a descending triangle on the higher time frame pattern. As far as the lower time frame goes, we're still stuck in a descending triangle. So whichever way you want to look at this, the smaller time frames are leaning bearish. Some of the larger time frames are leaning bullish. Definitely the 3 day time frames, based on technical analysis and the fib fans, we kind of have hit the low here. Um, let's go look at some of our market cipher Bs. Um, so we currently do have a green dot on the daily. Why is it it's flinging me everywhere? So we do have a green dot on the daily. I mean, not the daily, the 12-hour from where we're currently sitting. So that's a good sign. 8-hour green dot. And you can see this green dot on the 8-hour that everybody was kind of looking towards to for us to pump back up to, like the mid 9Ks. That did come to fruition, but it was very short lived. So it did want to dump lower. And I feel really bad for some of the people that were using the swing time frames on kite crossing. It it was just the perfect storm. Just all the VWAPs being over. You really would have to pay attention to the patterns and some of the smaller time frames to really catch that, because it did give you a long symbol a couple hours before it dumped. And hopefully some of those people didn't take their losses on it, because I do feel like a good bounce is incoming. So definitely look out for the big bounce. And if you haven't taken your losses yet, perhaps think about taking a DCA, because we do have some bullish divergence right here, some bullish divergence right here, off of this one. So we should get a good size bounce from here, at least on the higher time frames. But if we do dump again, I would say, about 7,150 to 7,200. That would probably be the next bottom. I already got it loaded up, Crypto Thug. I already got it loaded up. Let's take a look at this. Um, I can see that you got in the short. That's awesome, man. Let's see. Goodbye. Good sell. Goodbye. Goodbye. Good sell. Boom bada bing. That's what's up. This is nice. I like this. That's the weirdest looking the weirdest looking market cipher I've ever seen. I thought mine looked weird. Dude, I like that. It's unique. You want to make your indicators as complicated as possible. So that way if someone walks into your room, they just don't know what's going on and they're like, "You must be the smartest man alive." I'm like, I am." So I do think the bottom was here. So as we're getting closer and closer to this little triangle breaking out, um, if we do want to break out from here and not find support off of one of these fib fans, I'm assuming that we are going to go lower and probably find support off of this one for the meantime. So I'll probably take profit, around 7,800. Um, and let's see, from there that would be 2.28%. So about a 22% gain. I'm not smarter than anybody. I just, you know, I guess being, like kids, they have like creativity. They have the ability to like turn a stick into a gun in their mind. And I guess me being this young, I can kind of look at things differently because I haven't had like, a particular way like nailed into my head. Like if my father was like a stock trader and he traded a certain particular way, I'll probably be trading the same exact way as him. But since I had nobody to really like base my trading off of, and I kind of came up with I mean, I didn't come up with myself. Obviously, Gone fans are out, so somebody thought of this. But earlier in my streams, before I was even using Gone fans, I was just going crazy. Like I would see like two candles, and I'd be like, okay, there's a trend line. Two candles here, there's a trend line. I would just like connect all the dots, and it started working out. So I was like, this is a real way of doing things. Um, and it's been making me money, so I'm not gonna stop if it's making me money. You can see as this has kind of progressed here, whenever you have an intersection in your Gone fans, you can draw a horizontal line through them, you can draw a vertical line through them, and you can connect it to the other intersections inside of the patterns. So you can see this one acted as resistance here, and as it was followed, it was support, broke through support, came back down, found support on like the baseline. The middle is always the strongest, and that's why it either gets stuck in a descending or stuck in a ascending triangle because that middle point, it's very hard to break for the pattern until you get towards the end where the critical points, the the vertical channels, they're more wide, so it allows for more time for the price to, kind of, find its momentum. Whereas in the beginning, they're very, very thin, so you have like huge candles up and down, but there's once it hits that other wall, it changes its momentum. So that's why towards the end you always get the breakouts. And on my earlier live streams, you could see those like visualized much better than I'm doing now because I was like a little crackhead back then, and it was only a couple weeks ago. So we did get an over on the smaller time frames up here. And what it's potentially telling you is that hey, if we find support here, we're going to continue upwards and maybe break out to the upside. Um, but if we can't get past this right here and we find resistance, even if it comes back down, we're still in a descending triangle. And I'm not one of those types of people that like to think of every single pattern as breaking out a particular way, like ascending's bullish, descending's bearish, because there's been plenty of times where a descending triangle has broken bullish many, many, many times before. So I'm not counting that this is going to break bearish. Um, but if we do break bullish, let's go ahead and look at what our target would be. Be somewhere about 8,230 just for that first one. And then if the macro triangle broke out, let's see where that would take us. That would take us, let's see, if we got all the way up. Oh, we got all the way up to the macro resistance. Let's say this one, for example. That would take us up to about $8,786. Let's go look at the 3-day. The 3-day hasn't given me enough candles yet. I need for it to at least get a green candle on the bottom for me to really consider that the low. As of right now, the 3-day, it's still open for interpretation. Um, so I really can't do like like a larger time frame for that to see if we're gonna like where we're gonna bounce, if we're gonna bounce. But if we do bounce, like really, really bounce, I'm expecting us to find temporary resistance off of 9,200 if it does shoot past this $8,200 target. Not that $8,200 target. Let me go back to, oh shoot, come on. I do have to take Fish out here in a second as well. He's kind of crying. Oh my god, 7K is the minimum we can get to. Um, yes, and no. So the reason why 7K would be a significant support, you can see the entire time down, we only had one Gone fan for the macro time frames. Really, like until right about here. I mean, that kind of did slip under it gently, and we could technically do the same thing over here with these, but we have two Gon fans in the way. Um, and with some of the higher Gon fans being where they are, we're getting very dangerously close to the bottom. We could get a wick on the 3-day candle down to 7K, but I would probably assume it's going to be a pretty violent bounce from there. I currently am in a short, um, just based off of kite crossing and some of my targets. My stop loss is at about a little bit above 8,050. So anywhere above here would be a good stop loss because if we do break out to the upside, we're probably going to see, you know, let's see, that'll probably put us at about 8,220, 8,252, and then 8,700 is the target for this one. Now, technically, if we can extend this triangle just a little bit and get the fullness out of it, because if we extend the triangle out further, we can kind of bring the target up and move it to where it breaks out from. And that would bring us, close to that $8,200 mark that I was talking about. I'm going to go take fish out real quick. I'll be right back, guys. All right. So before I left, you said it was dumping down to 5 to 6K. I can see 6K. I just really can't see 5K right now. Until we start getting down to that lower level and I see a pattern form to really tell me that we're going down to 6K. Because just based on, the current consolidation, 8K was the technical analysis target for it. Now, was it the ultimate technical analysis target for it? No. It was the first out of many that could be happening. Let's go back to the 3-day. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So in a pattern, you always have a couple different ones that play out beforehand. So this was the first one I was looking at. I took this intersection, took it up to the resistance. That was the first target. The second target could be this one right here. This is the one that could bring us down all the way to, 5K. That one is, 6,000, but that's where it probably would end. Um, if it does want to take us down that low. But sometimes it doesn't get to that very last target. Sometimes it gets to the first target. So that's why I'm, thinking that, either this is the bottom or 7K is the bottom. But either one works based on technical analysis. Heck, no. This dude had mashed potatoes today and he still wants more food. I don't know what his problem is. This. Cannibal. He said, I ain't got that much time. Come back, moron. And he said, you is an illusion. Your whole life sucks, dude. Uh, I wish. I wish. It's kind of hard having like sympathy from your parents when you make more than them. It's pretty hard. Let's see. Dude, I wish I could lock. Okay, let's just lock the Gone fans. That makes sense. Okay, lock the Gone fans. Boom, boom, boom. I should have done this in the beginning. I'm so stupid. 1 to 6 crackhead scalps. This 24-minute blood diamond earlier, that was very well crafted. Made a lot off of that short. Let's see. Go back to that one. So we're getting closer and closer and closer to this descending triangle right here. So actually on both of the time frames we are in a descending triangle. So we should break lower technically. But like I said, doesn't always work that way. Go ahead and where it's going to take us next. So the first one will probably be about $7,000, 7,761. Probably slide over sideways, and then if it actually breaks out, then we'll probably see it come down to that, at least this fib line right here, about 7,200. Is the bottom of is the bottom of your triangle the bottom of the fib fan? Yes. The bottom of the fib fan is actually right here with this low, and then the top is up here with this high. I'm actually supposed to bring it up a little bit further, actually. Keep it a little bit more. There we go. And let me lock it so I don't have that problem again. There we go. Where am I from? I don't know if you're talking to me or somebody else, but I'm from Virginia in the U.S. So the green ones over here, those are my targets for the 1 minute. And then the yellow ones over here, that's my targets for the higher time frames. So line these up all accordingly. Stop. Go lay down. Go lay down. And yes, this yellow line, it was acting as a resistance through the entire pattern. The way I explain this is, whenever you have an intersection in your fib bands, you can connect them, and it adds another layer. You don't want to be doing it for every single one, just because it really doesn't have that much significance to it. But the longer you take it out, the more it holds. Like this one would be one, for example. Right here. You can see this is an ascending triangle now. So you take the length of it. And if we get like to the very, very tippy top, you can see that if we break down, we'll just find support. That's why the price kind of goes back and forth between supports, just because of the targets set by bots to buy back if it does. Dude, you had more than enough dinner. More than enough dinner. Go lay down. So I got DoorDash today because Outback was giving out like free steaks if you got like $20 or more. I found a way to glitch it, so I got 2 free steaks. So I gave the other side to the fish. Cheating the system. I didn't even plan on it. I wasn't like, how am I supposed to get 2 free steaks? It just happened. And I just rolled with it. Here, down, pretty much the support. That would work out perfectly. I got no music on. That's the most important part. Uh, do I don't know what I don't want to play through my speakers. Okay, there we go. Fixed it.
Who the hell are you?
Oh my god, that's loud. Who the hell are you?
A remnant of a time long past. Genetically engineered to be superior so as to lead others to peace in a world at war. But we were condemned as criminals, forced into exile. For centuries we slept, hoping when we awoke things...
I was scrolled up in chat. I was like, where are all the messages at? But
My name.
I scrolled down.
And call me Marcus Aurelius Garvey. You and I, it was a way to assimilate. I'ma disseminate every single intention you put in the verse and the word of the flow.
Let's
is a form
see.
of definitive adoration. What the fuck do you mean? A beautiful mind, and I am the product of Malcolm and Martin's collaborative dream. Perpetual king. So within the time that we live in, I'm giving you lyrics I deem a cynical scene. You niggas are working for cream. I pick up the pen and I scheme. The biggest of critics are quicker to pick it apart. Defining a man and a pen of the parts. I'm playing the rhythm and they calling it art.
Am I offering private tutoring for an hourly price? So I'm kind of doing like a one-time payment type thing where it's you know, if you want to find out, just message me, and then I'll talk to you about it. I get a sense of where you are, like how far along you are, and then I'll recommend videos for you to watch beforehand, because with these videos, most of them, if you can kind of apply them yourself, you don't really need the tutoring. But if you are having trouble still, even though you've been trying and trying, that's where I would recommend you taking the tutoring. But it's just a one-time payment, and then you're pretty much set. So as many calls as you need, I'll be there for you. Anytime you need to text me, I'll message you back. Um, just sometimes I've sat with a person for like 3 hours straight, just going over charts. And I love talking charts, so I never get tired of it. Um, let's see. Do you have an IG or a Twitter? So I have a Twitter account. It's underscore kite. So if you want to find me, I'm there. Latin Crypto, what's up, man? I don't only buy the breakouts. If I am in the middle of a pattern, I'll go ahead and scalp the middle of a pattern. But otherwise, I'm really looking at what Kite Crossing is saying when we're towards that breakout zone to really make the assumption for like the bigger trades. Next life, I'm gonna come back as your dog. I'll eat well. I learned it from my mom. My mom, like, anytime she would get fast food, anytime she would get like a fancy dinner, she always had to get something for her dog. And when I let her babysit him when he was, a baby, she would do the same thing with him. So now it's just kind of, he expects it. So. Let me try to find his toys that are under the couch real quick so he has something to do.
I'm a reclusive author that's very strict with tradition. I'm speaking of isolation while giving you my rendition. Was ridiculed as a child, and my pain I put in the chalice with silence. The flow dyslexic and very mentally challenged, allowing these motherfuckers to degrade me with degrees. But my decree is I can see that I'll probably never be free. I'm afflicted by insecurities, currently contemplating. I've cultivated catastrophes by living alone and being depressed, but then created a masterpiece. Exactly, I'm actually asking for attrition. Effectively, your submissive deficiencies in your vision, your mind.
I looked on the couch. I looked on the side of the bed. I don't know where his toys are. I don't like to promote the cost of the 101s. It's not the cheapest, but what I did is in the beginning, I let people set the price just so I can get like a feel of like what people are willing to pay. And then as soon as I had like 10 people that paid me, I kind of averaged out the price, and then that's how I'd settle on like a one-time, deal. Can you guys believe that they banned vape? That's just ridiculous to me. I don't believe there's anybody really out there doing Gone fans. Not that I've seen, but for like basic technical analysis, setting targets, all that kind of jazz, I learned that from CBC patrons. Definitely the man when it comes to that. He's such a good breakout trader. And that's where I started. And then as well as Silicone and Crown Crypto, just to kind of get, they each have their different things. Like Silicone, he loves Elliott wave theory. Whatchamacallit? CBC patrons, he loves just regular breakout trading with basic trend lines. And then he also uses like EMAs and all that kind of stuff. And then Crown Crypto, obviously, he has his own indicator as well as, EMAs, all that kind of stuff. So he's very good at, the basic technical analysis using all those different indicators. But I prefer to have, a couple indicators, like 1 to 2 indicators. And then I rely on my technical analysis. If you look at Crown Crypto's streams, I mean, he has like 6 or 7 indicators, like all down here. Yeah, like it doesn't make sense for them to make something like that illegal. I mean, like all the science is out there that it's 95% safer than smoking. They're not banning cigarettes. They're just banning vapes. It's stupid. And it's just corrupt money getting into the government and they're losing profits. So what do? They ban it. It's just like anything. It sucks. It really does. Just one of those things in life that you kind of have to deal with. You know, I'll still have my vapes, and you know, I'll probably stock up on juice for, you know, a couple months to a year. But it just, what they're basically doing is like all the people that got addicted to nicotine. What are they gonna do now? They're gonna go buy cigarettes, buy tobacco, you know, get nicotine patches, all that kind of stuff. They're just booming their own business by banning this thing. It really does suck, man. And it just goes to show how money can influence even the most harmless things through the mainstream media slowly introducing, you know, cases where people have died from vaping to, hey, let's try to ban it. They just slowly manipulate people into doing what they want to. So the current times I'm using on Kite Crossing, this one's a little bit janky from when I had it, but I have it at 36912. I did have it at 13612. Sitting on the 1 minute time frame. And then this one right here, this is the 7:15:30:60. And these are the two charts I have up. I do have the swing time frames also. I just don't have it, you know, active right now. That one currently, I believe, let me check it. That one gave an over right before the dump. So unfortunately, that one did kind of fall through. And I mean, it really did suck for that one. But fortunately, the smaller time frames caught it about an hour and 40 minutes before it dumped. I really do take my trades off of this one as of right now, while just looking at patterns. And even if you did have a long set in place off of this over, you still should have had a stop loss at about, you know, 8,300. So if you don't set your stop losses, you will get burnt. But the problem is like you tell someone to set a stop loss, but if they don't know how to do correct technical analysis, they don't know where to put it, and then they end up putting it way too close, and then they get stopped out, and then now they get afraid because if they got stopped out once, maybe they're gonna get stopped out again. But hopefully, that gets a lot better with some time. I'm hoping that like as I teach people on these one-on-ones, that they go teach their friends, and then their friends teach their friends, and then that way I'm influencing more people than just, you know, like the current like 20 or 30 that I have right now. I'm writing a story that you couldn't fathom. I'm giving a vision that you can't imagine. Yeah, do I want to live is the question that I have been asking. All of the pain that I put in my lyrics, I wonder can anybody really grasp me, Lord? Yeah. You wondering what is my thesis? Yeah. You wondering what is my thesis? Yeah. You wondering what is my thesis? Why am I lonely when people are phony? I felt like I needed someone to believe in. Tell me that you want the real shit and take a second to listen in your field. Even if they did ban BTC, I mean, you could still get it. I'm sure there'll be a way to get it, whether it's peer-to-peer on message boards like it was back in the day when there wasn't really like any major exchanges. Lay down. Lay down. Why are you being bad? Why are you being bad? Lay down. Bad dog. Bad dog. BTC is banned and look how much it is. Oh. I hope so. I'm holding it short. Definitely 6K could be a good number, but I don't think it's going to go to 5K anytime soon after that.
You wondering what is my thesis? Why am I lonely when people are phony? I felt like I needed someone to believe in love.
Da Vinci, things are going absolutely swell today. Made a lot of money off of the short and the bounce, just like it was the past couple of days. I really do love, the couple of days after a consolidation period. It's like there's always action going on. Hey, don't lay down. What is your problem, buddy? I'll be right back. I'm gonna go ask my roommates to watch Fish for a hot second because he's just being hungry. Let's go.
I'm constantly concocting things with Constantine. I'm Socrates, my sovereignty is seldom seen. Assume the sound to stop the feet, the feast to feed your family for the sake of your sanity. Candidate, I'm a narcissist, right as much as a novelist. Novices never feel it, exposing plenty emotion. The purpose was posed to in my potion. You couldn't sip it, addicted, and now you tripping. Promethazine for parentheses, emphases. I should make it cease. I'm a beast when I'm eating beats. I am very particular. Pick apart in a paragraph, paraphrasing a paradigm parallel to the passage that's preaching, selling the internalizes. I supply the sticker line of dopamine to prey upon your mind, then multiply the rhyme, divide the faculty. The fact remains that I am actually your fucking king. You can call me your majesty, masterfully maneuver my move is sure to subdue your solution.
I have got rid of the child. The child is no more.
The stars aligned the day I was born, immaculate conception. January.
Yeah, exit scams are a real big problem, but like the way it works in a free market, if people get burnt, then they learn their lesson. But for the US, for example, the banks fucked people over. What do? They bail out the banks, people get a majority of their money back, they're content with life, and they don't learn from their lesson. That's why it's so important to have a free economy, and that's what cryptocurrency offers. Nobody's in control of your money. You can send it to whoever you want, however much you want, for a very low cost. Now, if you're sending like $5, then like back in 2017, but the transfer fee was like $15, it made no sense. But if you were transferring like $50 million for $15, then it made sense. So I'm really curious is if this is going to hold and we're going to break downwards, or if it slips past it and then we're actually in an ascending triangle right now. Osman, are you using just fib fans and fib retracements for resistance and support? Yes, so I'm using fib retracements, fib fans, as well as using the intricacies of them. Like I was saying, if you have an intersection, you can use that as a support / resistance. You can see this one right here. Connect the 2 points. You can see it bounced off of it. And most of the time, the fib retracements will be at those intersections. Pretty much the majority of the time. If not, they're pretty damn close to them. The reason why I love fib fans so much, it gives you both sides of a pattern. It really allows you to see which side of it you're on, You know, like right here, we're on a descending triangle side. This would be the target right here. Boom. Take it down. This was the target, but it found support off of this fib fan right here. I think it would go lower. IMO stocks will pump because of Fed. BTC opposite of NASDAQ, right? Or the same correlation. They've actually been correlated recently. Stock market dumped, Bitcoin dumped. While although the percentages are drastically different, they do seem to be holding some correlation. And I forgot who the major person was. God, I can't remember his name. But I think he went on like CNBC or something, and he was talking about the correlation between the stock market. He was like, if the stock market does good, Bitcoin also does good. But I'm not too sure about that. In order for Bitcoin to prosper off of, you know, the stock market dumping, it needs to be able to dump drastically, not just a couple of points, because most of the time they're just pulling out to cash and then shorting something like that. But it needs to it has to have a significant effect on the dollar in order for Bitcoin to see the inverse of that reaction, because people want to protect their assets, so they can be shoving it into stuff like gold and Bitcoin and silver, where those maintain their value through dumps. Although gold did take a crash in 2008 along with other stuff. If green dot on daily, should we be bullish again? I wouldn't say get like super bullish, like, oh, we're going to $20,000, but it would be a good sign for a temporary pump. You can see last time we got a gold dot on the daily, not a gold dot, green dot. We did have a 15% pump, 13%, my bad. So it would definitely be good for it. But although right here we did have bullish divergence along with the green dot, we also will have bullish divergence off of this as well. So hopefully we get a more significant pump out of that. Sorry, Kite. Fish got the dump right. Fish got put into jail. I gave him to my roommates, and I was like, take this dog. He's being bad. Hey, Nick. Good afternoon. It's 11 o'clock for me, so it's getting late. I'm trying to like reset my sleep schedule so I can wake up at like 9 a.m. to accommodate some of the people in the EU that I've been doing some one-on-ones with. But like every single time I just sleep through my alarm. Today I woke up to my my kite crossing alert alarm, which shakes my room, and I have no other choice but to run across the room and turn it off, because that thing, it literally, if I leave it on long enough, it's going to wake up the neighbors, and they're probably going to call the police. But I can't miss those. I'm going to bake fish a cake with a file in it. What, so he can turn on his master? Let's know. I don't need a dog that's going to shank me in my sleep. Nah, Fish can hold his own. Fish has a German Shepherd girlfriend, and they fight all the time. Although the German Shepherd's well trained and it doesn't like bite Fish. Have you considered collaborating with Crown regarding your bot algorithm indicator? No, not as of right now. I'm not really like trying to like network to like other YouTubers and build a following. Although I do want to try to reach as many people as possible. You know, I just don't feel like I have that credibility right now. I mean, I'm pretty good at what I do, and my technical analysis has come a long way. But I still feel like I have a lot to learn, and I don't want to get too cocky too fast and feel like, you know, all right, I have everything set for me now. I'm gonna build this community up from the ground, and all that kind of stuff. I just, I want to make sure that I'm gradually doing what I need to do, and not expanding too fast. Because then I don't want to burn myself out. I think I did kind of burn myself out in the beginning, you know, trying to pump out videos, do the streams and all that. And although I was excited, you know, it kind of just got a little bit tiring for me. I will let you guys know that I have added back a lot of my cash position around this zone. Not a whole lot of it, you know, not everything I have in cash, but I have added back most of it. And then if it does go lower, I'll just add back the rest of it. So I put about 50% in here. If we drop down to about 7K, I put about 25% in. And if we drop even lower, I'll put about another 25% in. I know it's kind of backwards to what I should do, but I'm very confident that even if this 8K range is broken, um, it's not going to go super low. And as we gradually get towards April, I'll be back in profit pretty soon. And then obviously that breakout towards April will bring everything back into profit. The people I always recommend are CBC patrons, also known as Crypto Bitcoin Chris, also known as Crypto Revolution. Um, his videos outstanding. To know nothing about trading, that's where you really need to start. And then Crown Crypto, he talks very, very fast. And if you don't know a lot about trading, you're not going to pick up on some of the lingo. So I recommend watching CBC patrons first, and then going to maybe Crown Crypto or Filicone. Filicone, he doesn't do a whole lot as much as he used to. He does put out a video like every couple days whenever anything major happens, and he gives his projections for what's going to happen next. Um, so, I mean, if those three guys all say the same thing, no questions. No, private group calls aren't really my thing. I believe that uh, you really want to think for yourself on these trades. Nobody is going to trade your portfolio for you and make as much as you possibly can. So when I do these one-on-ones, although sometimes, you know, I'll give them, you know, my current position, I don't really want to do that because the whole purpose of the one-on-ones is to teach them how to make the trades, how to make the plans. And as they're making the plans and following through with them, it kind of sheds away their emotions that they have in the trades. That way they don't, you know, get scared. They can recognize what's happening in front of them so they can make better decisions. The private group call, you know, the private signal groups, I feel like people would follow those blindly. They wouldn't try to understand why I'm making the trades. They just want to know what I'm trading so that they also can make money, which it's not a bad thing, but long term it's a bad thing. That's why if you guys are in the whale crew, really try to understand why he's making the calls he's making, so that way you can also look for those indicators. Filicone. You spell it. Let me go to YouTube real quick. That's how you spell it. And then he has a Udemy classroom for his course. The last video he has out is about a week ago on September 18th. And he does the same type of technical analysis I do, where he looks at both possible outcomes so that he can make the plan for whichever one is more likely. He doesn't focus on one particular target. He focuses on both targets, many different targets, and whichever one comes to fruition, he starts working with that. Oh, I gotta sneeze, but it feels like it's not gonna come out. So it looks like this ascending triangle's holding. Let's see. Target. This. We break down somewhere around here. Should find support off of this momentarily. If not, if it keeps doing this, we really want to see it find resistance off of this right here, which is actually coming up pretty damn soon. Actually, does it line up perfectly? Oh, it does. Look at that. So you can see on my 5 minute, where my crosshair is on the 1 minute, is exactly where it's taking us to, which is at a resistance line. So it should break downwards, but if it does break upwards, we're looking at about 8,089. Do you look at the parabolic SAR Wilder? I have not heard of that, so no. Thank you, Tyler. I didn't see that message earlier, but I appreciate the sentiment, man. I really do. TL, what's up, buddy? I forgot to say the hello, so oh no, can't do that. Kite, will you share my YouTube channel? Please, people going bananas about the setups. We'll consider start my own daily channel. It's nothing there right now, but sure. I mean, is it just Thug Crypto? This one right here. Oh, thanks for the likes, buddy. Thank you, man. All right, let's see which one comes to fruition. It should break out pretty soon. Hopefully downwards. Yeah, I'm sitting at about 7% right now. That'll bring me back up to like 15% on this short. Could have made 9% off of that one. Pretty damn good. How can I set up market cipher like you, man? So if you're talking about the kite crossing alongside market cipher, all you have to do for that one is it's gonna come in its own pane down in the bottom. I just turn off all the VWAPs and stuff just to try to make it a little bit more clean. And then you press move to existing pane above, and then you press visual order bring to front. Other than that, you can double click on your market cipher, hit style, and I disable the money flow because the money flow, although it is one of the best indicators on market cipher, it has the tendency to kind of bias your trades, if you would say that. And it does mess a lot of people up. So I'd recommend turning the money flow off, as well as the VWAP. I like to have it as a line. You can leave it as the area. There's nothing wrong with that. It does look a little bit better as an area, but for me, it's just a little bit easier to see it as a line. And then you can change the colors of your waves to whatever you like. The only thing that is this blue wave needs to be a lower opacity so you can kind of see through it. It doesn't need to, but it makes it look a little bit better. Allows you to see all the goodies, and then you can change the color, to whatever you like. So if I want a red one to match, my Gone fans, and then over here, I can make you know, I can make this one white to match my Gone fans, and then boom, color coded. And they can, Trading View, it's like, it's your baby. You can do whatever you want with it. Let's see. Let's just change it back to green and red candles. In the beginning, back when I didn't have market cipher or kite crossing, I was using EMA crosses a lot. I just feel like they're a little bit too hard to judge, and sometimes they're really, really late to the party. Um, so I don't really use them all that often. But pretty much almost like 90% of the time, the EMAs, like the 200, lines up with like a 3-day fib fan. So I like the fib fans a lot because I feel like they hold true. They really do. We have bull divs on a lot of the higher time frames. So I do think a potential good bounce is incoming. Um, you can see like right here, I highlighted some of the higher time frame bullish divergences. We have a whole bunch. We have this one right here. Um, Other than that, we don't have a whole lot of them. We have a lot of bullish divergences off of these. Where do I draw the fib fans from? So it depends on the time frame that I'm drawing it off of. So the 1 minute, I drew this one off of this low and this high. On the 30-minute one, I drew it from this high and this low. On the 3-day one, that one I drew way, way far back. That one I drew all the way from right here. I don't have an Instagram. I'm sorry. Let's check. So it looks like we do have a little bit of exaggerated bearish divergence. As long as this confirms the downside, it definitely could break out upwards. So we have exaggerated bearish divergence there. Let's see. More exaggerated bearish divergence. More bearish divergence. So we have a couple different bearish divergences connected to this single wave. So it definitely could break downwards as long as it does confirm downwards. Like I said, the target for this one would be about 7,953 if it does break downwards. Find temporary support there. From there, if we do get caught in another triangle, I would take this into account right here. And then we would probably find support around 7,842. Is that correct? 8,884. And then we have the final fib fan. So if this one goes through, then I would use the full target on this one. And my target would be about 7,492. And then for the 30-minute triangle, this one, if this one does break to the downside, then we'll be looking at those lower fib fans sitting around the $7,000 mark, $7,100 mark. But we have a long way to go before that happens. Moves are getting tighter and tighter. We're gearing up for something. Are you talking about these waves right here? So since this is a 5-minute chart, the waves can go back much farther than say a 3-day chart. 3 days, these ones down here, I still consider these available. But you know, all the way back here, no. There's no real set time frame, and I do feel like all of the waves kind of add up for a single thing. They just lose less significance as they go on. Doesn't mean that they don't affect it. No, there's no particular time frame like that's best for blood diamonds. It's kind of good to look at all of them. Like the 24-minute pumps out a lot of good blood diamonds. It showed up on the 30-minute as well right before this dump. Let's see, 1 hour. 1 hour had blood diamond all the way back here before this major dump. Blood diamond here before this major dump. I'm not sure like how the higher time frames are calculated. All I know is like, okay, back when I was doing like the extreme scalping and I was like connecting all of the divergences, I think I found that like if you had like upwards of 10 bearish divergences connected to a single wave, it printed out a blood diamond. Hold on. I'll be right back. It still hasn't broken out yet? How far are we gonna go up this fib? Like you can see, it just doesn't know what to do. I have a pretty good success rate, just using my current system, but it's not like I'm not doing that just to like discount yours. Yours is definitely like crazy accurate. So But for that one, like it kind of like the constant swappage back and forth, it really doesn't, you know, on the lower time frames. The higher time frames as well are very good. No, don't worry about me. I have a stop set in place pretty soon. I have mine set in place at about 10,048. Yeah, use your stops to calculate your leverage. We still have a little bit to go until we hit this this resistance right here. Let's see if we pump from here, we could hit the resistance at like 8,030. Ooh. I love watching the smaller time frames because everything seems so more exciting, but it's just a little little tiny thing on the 5 minute. Taco Bell always is the move around here. You can't go wrong with it. They're open up until like 2 a.m. It's always a bunch of high people, but it's definitely good. You can see we're tapping this resistance now. About just a little bit further. Come on, let's go, let's go. Come on. What could be carrying us upwards is this trend line right here. How the fuck you feel me? That shit cold, ain't it? Say how the fuck you feel me? They tell me patience is a virtue, you gon' learn through your failures. When you fall, you on your own, nigga, don't nobody help you. But don't complain like it's the end of the world, cause they move on quicker than they gave a fuck. You replaceable, bruh. This ain't no over-the-top grandiose statement as such. It's obvious that's politics and stipulations with love. It's here today and then tomorrow shit is gone with the dust. Let's see where the target would take us if we broke out from like right here. Target would be 8,087. Fine, you'll probably find temporary resistance off of this right here, about 860, and probably slide over. But then you could bring in the much better target. Bringing you up to about 8,181. What is my ultimate bottom? Based on Fib fans, probably about 6K. Oh no, we're in the danger zone. We're gonna get stopped out. I'm still in profit though, so it's fine. The candle body is still below this resistance, so we are kind of inching up. It did reach this smaller target right here.
They cut the lights, turn off the mic, I can't leave. Said I refuse, Lord, I refuse. Too much to do, not enough time, my nigga. I pray to God we ain't finished. How
Hold on.
do you move on when the exit was prolonged?
Oh. That's pretty much what I do. I'm an abstract artist. Dude, yeah, Mrs. Gonzalez is in the chat. I don't think we're going upwards. She's like a bad omen. Looks like we have found support off of this right here. And we're probably going to start trending upwards towards this one. Let's see. Let's not go all the way to the bottom. Let's go to right here. And I would say that's more conservative right there. Go about 8,150. So not too bad. See, that's about a 12% at 10x. If you took this over right here, currently sitting only about 2%, but 4% right there, 5%. This under right here was killer. Okay, so the candle body's now creeping past this, but it could just be a tad bit off. Oh, flip back.
This feel like 09 playing Carter 3. Chocolate cigarette full of weed. Aspirations of what I could be. Vision bigger than the shit I see. Biggest fear I got is regret. Ain't no looking back, I press a reset. Ain't no telling when this world I ever render. Ain't no telling if my wounds are ever mend. I said I never break and no one never been. I'm knocking on the door, but they won't let me in. I'm about to pick the lock and then start picking pockets. Make a pretty pen and put my people on it. Put the ceiling on me, I'm a bust.
Now to the opposite side, let's go ahead and check out what that would be. Say it breaks out like right here. Come down to probably this support, 7,900. That wouldn't be too bad either. Alejo, appreciate it, man. Have a good night. I'll probably be heading off here shortly as well. Probably about 12 o'clock again.
What's enough for them is not enough for me. You're down and out, what's the company? I ain't going nowhere, y'all stuck with me. So I strongly suggest that
I hate this part of his song. You guys ever heard like a favorite musician and they do something and you're like, oh, that's not you, dude. That's not you. Let's go to lo-fi. Since we're kind of chilling down for the night. Tomorrow, beer and Rambo 5. What is Rambo 5? Oh, Rambo. I thought it was something else. They're still making Rambos? Why? I feel like he's going to be in a wheelchair and still be acting in these movies. I've not had alcohol in a very long time. Like when my parents, like, I bought the house from them and they moved out, you know, I had my fun, but it's just not for me. Just not for me. I love Gemini. Their new updated, you know, GUI and all that's awesome. You know, I also went crazy with weed as well, and that's, you know, it's cool, it's fun, but you know, when I'm trying to trade, and even if I'm not smoking while trading, like if I've smoked for like a month straight, I can feel it in my head. It's not making me any smarter. It's not, you know, allowing me to reach my potential. So that's why I stopped that. I think weed's good for like musicians, just to kind of like chill out, get in the zone, all that kind of stuff. But I don't think it's good for trading, not in the slightest. Got our first red candle at resistance. Will it continue? Who knows? Roger Ver, I think he's coming out with an exchange. Let me see. Where they actually pay you to trade. Is this it? So the aim of his exchange, I think, is to just kind of get rid of price manipulation, which is sounds pretty good. That it does, Pablo. That it does. Yeah, I microdose pretty much, you know, like once a week. You know, in the beginning, I was doing it like every like 3 to 4 days, but Is it only BCH? Is it not Bitcoin? Oh, is it coming to fruition? Or is it just testing support? So the kite crossing, what it is it's taking 4 different time frames from Market Cipher and combining them all together. And that way, you have multiple different time frames all working for you. And depending on the time frame, depending on the pattern you're playing, that will determine your time set. And, obviously have stop losses set up, have take profits set up. Kite crossing is just to give you the general direction. I wouldn't use it, as like a for sure thing. Although many of the times it is correct. But, as we've seen as example here on the swings the other day, there can be times where, all of the time frames are saying something, but they all don't switch back in time for it to get, back into a, an under right before it dumped. You got the over here, dumped on you. But although these trades, you hold them for a longer period of time. So technically, this right here could be, a bottom and then we could bounce back up. So technically it wouldn't be wrong, but I'm not saying that's the case. If we do continue to slide sideways, it probably will give us an under. That is not a microdose. What is the official Divergence? Scalp and swing, just time? I don't know what the question was pertaining to. If you're asking whether it goes off of divergences, no. I don't think, I don't know how to code, so I can't really bring that into play. I would love like a gold, like a green diamond. That would be sick if we got green diamonds and blood diamonds. We can call them money diamonds and blood diamonds. We got blood money. Blood diamonds and money diamonds. That'd be sick. Crypto fix. Hop on it. No, crypto, you should work on making the money diamonds. I'm using the 7 and the 24-minute for trading. So for this one right here, I'm using a 7, 15, 30, 60 on the 5-minute. And then for this one, I'm using the 1, 3, 6, 12 on the 1-minute. If I'm in the negative, what happens if I adjust my position margin because BTC, let's say I'm at 14x, I want to put in 9x. I think in order to, let's see, I know you can change your margin size while in the trade. I haven't really done that. I haven't really messed around with changing the margin size while in a trade. I've heard from many people that, let's say, the price is dropping or something like that, and you change your margin size and then add more position to it, it's beneficial for your portfolio. But I haven't tested that myself, so I'm not going to give you a definitive answer. I'm kind of lackluster in that sense, and I don't want to give anybody false information, just because, I'm trying to act like I know everything. I don't know everything, so that's like the purpose of everything I'm doing. The more and more I have people to support and pass along information to, the more I try to learn. So, what is the reason for these strange time frames you're using? There's no particular reason for it, but I try to keep either doubles, triples, or fibs for my time frames. You can see that each time frame is a doubling of itself, and that means the resolution is higher for them. Um, the way you want to view these waves, okay? Let me get up 4 charts real quick. Let me put on double time frames. Let me do a 5-minute, a 10-minute, a 20-minute, and a 40-minute. You need to view the waves as resolutions of the momentum. So let me go get a 40-minute. And I want you to look at my crosshair on the smaller time frames when I'm hovering over the 40-minute time frame, okay? So you can see this single wave, okay? Right here. You can see on the smaller time frames, all they are higher resolutions of this single wave on the 40-minute. And that's how, they all correlate to each other along the things. It's not that the different time frames have different momentum waves. It's the same momentum wave, but it can be split up into chunks. And that way, you get a better idea of what's happening. You can see as we progress, you can see as the 40-minute comes up, you can see our 20-minute come up and then get the bearish divergence. And then the 40-minute wave comes back down. And you can see where they all crest. It's more exaggerated on the 5-minute and on the 10-minute. But that's how you need to view these waves. That helps a lot of people start to understand, that even though you're looking at a different time, it's still the same thing. You just have to look at the smaller time frames to get a good idea of where that wave is headed. So the way you want to DCA, it's basically a laddering system. So let's say in your first position, you use 2%, okay? In the next one, you want to use more of that position on the second one. But that's only on longs. On longs, okay, let's say I take, a 1% long here. Then if it drops, I'll have multiple different DCA positions. So I'll do, 1%, 1%, 2%, 3%, 5%, 8%, and then the bounce comes in. And then that drags my average entry lower and lower and lower and lower. And then when we get the bounce, you take your profit. The objective with DCAs is use your technical analysis wisely to understand where it might bounce. And then if you have a failed scalp, you never want to DCA as your main strategy, but you do want to have it just in case if you do have a failed, or if you're trying to play the patterns out to their fullest potential. So let's say down here you were taking long entries at the support line, and then as it gets to the resistance, you take your profit. I've done that a lot of times with like full triangles where when I'm at the top of the triangle, I'll take short entries, DCA my way through them, and then as we drop lower and lower, once we hit that resistance, the support down at the bottom, I'll close my short entries, start taking longs, unless I get an under symbol or an over symbol, dictating I should be doing the opposite of what I'm currently doing. But around that time, I don't think I had kite crossing. I think I just had market cipher, and I was doing the 3, 6, 12, 24 method manually, not with kite crossing. I don't know if he's going to get a new Ferrari. I hope he does. You always want to kind of treat yourself. The cars that I'll be getting when I move out of this house, because I don't want to get them while I live here because that's just going to attract too much attention. But I'm getting a Jeep Trackhawk, a Tesla Model X, and I'm getting a AMG GTR. Those are the 3 cards that I'm looking at. So we're just sandwiched. We're sandwiched right now. We have nowhere to go. We have nowhere to go. Oh. Is this the breakout? Is this the breakout? Are we going? Are we pumping finally? Or are we just gonna hit resistance again? Oh my god, do something. Do something, ho. I'm hoping it does complete this full triangle. And it takes us out right here. So hopefully then it'll have enough momentum to break this support line. And then continue down further towards, you know, like the lower, the higher 7,000s. These songs are so... It makes you feel good, but it also makes you feel sad at the same time. Once again, I just have to say that portrait mode monitors, I don't know why I slept on them for so long. I mean, I don't know if it would work well with like 1920 by 1080 monitors, but definitely like 1440p monitors work very well with them. Just for like web pages, because most web pages, like, it doesn't work. Yes, I'm currently on a short right now. I do have a stop loss set up at about 8,048, and it actually didn't, even though the price did come up to it. Oh, I'm on Bitstamp right now. What the hell? BTC USD Bybit. Oh, that just fucked up my entire chart. Damn it. I don't know why I was on Bitstamp. I think I was showing somebody like previous price action or something, trying to explain the previous cycles. Like, if you were a traditional trader, you'd probably see this as a bear flag. Target being this. Bring us down to about $7,881. I'm relaxed. I'm relaxed. I'm okay. I'm okay. We're okay. You're okay. But yeah, I'm currently in a short. Do you think CME futures expiration will have an impact tomorrow? Yeah. I mean, that's just a simple answer to it, but I mean, it has previously. You know, we always have the dump beforehand and then you know, a pump afterwards. So if they are using, you know, like this to their advantage, they could definitely take a short position to bring us down to the 6,000, 7,000s. $6K closed. Take it. Kite, when you set up your Gone fans, I just want to confirm that you look for what matches like fib circles. So I look for my highs and my lows, and then I use the one Gone fan, being this one right here, and I try to match that up with the price action pretty much perfectly, as best I can, and then that's how I get it to go out so far, only using a very small amount of price action. Dude, Thug Crypto, you have to inform the people. It's your duty, man. Start stepping up the channel. I go back to Bitstamp real quick just so I can see my old chart because I don't feel like redrawing it because I only got about 5 minutes left. We have fallen out of the fib fan, but we still have the actual price action. We're drawing the trend line off of that. Still sitting on the support of that. No, I put them on the high and the low. I don't put them near. But I do try to keep it as symmetrical as possible. So you can see like right here on this bottom Gone fan, I have it vertical with my high and then level with my my low. I was gonna say my ho. But that way it maintains the symmetrical pattern to it, and that's how you get the most out of the Gone fans. Before I go, just play the good old fashioned music, the good old days. This one's like literally like the motto for my life. The way I use my money, the way I view it.
Used to be hard to get abroad when I got declined on my debit card. Duct tape on my headlight, no aux plug in my beat up car. When college loans stacked up, equated to more than my savings and shit. I ain't even reached graduation, so now all that I'm paying is hard knocks education. I'm saying that I barely had money for weed. Shit, I had to sell it to smoke. Pulling up on my tank on E. Yes, I was incredibly broke, but shit was
Waiting for the confirmation with the break of the parabolic SR for more up. 9,200, 9,400. That's definitely in line with my targets if the pattern does want to break out to the upside. Like as I've said right here, the target for the smaller triangle would be about 7,000 if we broke out from here. But obviously there's many places where it can get stopped. But if it was able to get all the way through all of these and break out, then we would be seeing around 9,100 based on the technical analysis. Now, if you want, you could say that, this could be potentially your target. I'm just trying to be a little bit more conservative with it, just because I like to hit my targets. This one would be the one that brings you up to around that $9,400 zone. But first, you need that confirmation. I'm not saying that we're breaking out to the upside anytime soon, but based on some of the higher time frame, higher time frames, we do have the potential for it. We do have the bullish divergence. We do have the green dots. So we could see a bounce here. But it could be just like it was the other day, where, let me go to the 12-hour real quick. Maybe it wasn't the 12-hour. Maybe it was 8-hour. 8-hour got a green dot. and it was very short-lived. So we'll kind of see what happens. You can see the 8-hour doesn't know where it wants to go. So you can see it's kind of just pretty much the same angle as this fib fan.
I'm just stacking up my checks and I'm laying low. Fuck what they say, cause I'm getting paid. Yeah, I don't gotta flex for the gram post. Don't whip a Corvette or a Lambo. I'm just stacking up my checks and I'm laying low. Fuck what they say, cause I'm getting paid. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money.
I love the lyric in this song where it says, I don't make withdrawals, only make deposits. That's pretty much what I do. I take out very little money. I just take out what I need, and the rest is just racking up for the rest of my life. That's paid by Chris Webby. This will be the outro song. So I'm gonna be getting off here soon, guys. In about 2-3 minutes. Kite, short and simple. Can you tell us how to trade these markets? Like I used the 7-minute chart with Kite and Market Cipher, but what else should I look for? Look for key support and resistance levels. If they are broken, you can assume you're going to fall to the next one. The way I view the VWAP is basically a support and resistance tester. So definitely, like if you're looking at a 12-hour support and resistance chart and your VWAP is above, you're probably going to be testing one of those supports. Now, Gone fans, I love them because it cuts those, it can cut it in the middle. Because sometimes when they rely on these, fib retracements only, they'll say, okay, if we get to this one, we have to get to this one. But sometimes you get stopped out dead in the middle and you fall short. But that's where fib fans come into play. You can see, like right here, there was no fib fan cutting this, so it was able to go from top to bottom. I'll kill you. God, that just burnt my ears. What's up, Kite? What's driving your short? Just a couple different things. I probably will go long momentarily with a stop, right above here. But I'm just holding the short since we are finding resistance off of it. And we got a couple different bearish divergence waves. These two right here. Now, this could come back up and push us upwards. But until I get stopped out, I'm holding this short. Even if I get stopped out, I'm still in some decent profit. Let's see. Look out here. It's up to bring us all the way up to this resistance up there. Oh, pretty much. They're essentially the same exact thing, but with the speed fib fans, what you also get with it is it also allows you to set your fib retracements in the same tool, but it doesn't have the cross lines. That's why I like to do it separately. I'll show you how to set up these fib fans real quick. So what I do to set up the fib fans, okay, I identify my highs and lows. So I'm using this as my high and this is my low. So now to get the up channels, you want to go vertical to your high, level with your low, and then you use this this one that's attached to it, this is the one gone fan. Now you want to take it out, keep it level with the price action. You can see I'm keeping it level with the price action. And then I take it out to my high. Okay? Now you do the same thing with your low. You try to keep it level with the price action. You can see as I'm going along, it's keeping level with that. And I bring it down to my low. You see, that's how I'm getting those. You want to try to keep it as symmetrical as possible the entire time through. Let's see. It's called Gone fans. You can use fib speed retracement fans, or you can use Gone fans. Oh shoot, you guys couldn't see it. Okay, I'll do it one more time, and then after this I'm gonna go ahead and head off for the night, and I'll be back on tomorrow pretty much just around the same time. It keeps running a little bit late because I'll just be on a call with somebody and I just won't look at the time, but I will be trying to get better at that. Okay, so you can see I have my high here, my low here. Now you could use this as your high and low, or this as your high and low. And for the smaller time frames, you want to kind of keep it more compact. But since it's a, you know, a 30-minute chart, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna keep it vertical with my high. Okay. Bring it down to my low. Now you want to keep the gone fan that's attached to your cursor. You want to keep that level with the price action as best as you can while taking it up to your high. Okay. So right about there. Now we take it to our high. Okay. And you try to keep it as level as possible with the price action while taking it down to your low. And boom. Alrighty, guys. I'm going to be heading off for the night. Here comes the sappy part again. Love you guys. Thanks for supporting the stream. It's always a pleasure. And, you know, I'm getting better and better every single day because of you guys. So I really do appreciate it. Dye my hair black, wear goth makeup. No, I gotta look like a little church boy. Dude, did it not happen? I mean, it happened, you know, early morning, but I think we got off the stream last night. We got off the stream last night at about, we got off back here, I think. I mean, it was a good while. It wasn't right after the stream. About 8 hours. A priest love you. Luckily, I have not had an interaction with a priest. TL, thanks, man. You have a good night, too. T Cox, you're welcome, man. I appreciate it. The Gone fan, it's another support and resistance tool that works. It's, you know, you could say it's like a fib circle, but I feel like it's a little bit more simplistic and not, you know, that far out there. I set stops depending on my major support and resistances. So like, let's say I'm playing this pattern and I got an over. That means it's probably going to break out to the upside. So I would set my target. You know, I would set my take profits and all that jazz based on this pattern right here. But you want to set a stop below the pattern. So like, you know, about here. So you use your stop to calculate your leverage. So if your stop is 1.48%, you want to use like, you know, 10x of the most likely 5. You don't want to use 40x leverage because 1% is 40% of that margin. So that's why I would set a stop if I was playing this pattern to the upside. And then, you know, if I am buying the breakout, I want to set my stop loss somewhere back in the triangle. You turning off is my indicator. Doug Crypto, love you too, man. Appreciate it. Crypto Seeker, have a great night, man. Nick, are we going short or long? I really want you to think for yourself. But if we maintain some of the overs, I'm not saying go long just yet, but as of right now, I do want to see it at least get stuck, have another retest down here, confirm support once again as it moves its way up, for us to really go long. But if the indicators line up, you make the decision. I believe in you. You're smart enough. Kiz, thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good night, man. GTA Roger, enjoy your anime, brother. J Money, appreciate you stopping in. Alrighty, guys. I'll see you in the next one. I'll be on around, 9, 10 o'clock tomorrow night. And then we'll have some more fun times. Hopefully something exciting happens that I can cover. If not, it's just going to be very boring again. I got to find like the perfect time to stream to catch the major price moves so that like we have some exciting stuff to talk about during the stream. But we always find something to talk about. So, Nick, I appreciate it, buddy. George, I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys. Bye-bye. And here comes the awkward part. I have to go to my stream setup and I have to hit the end stream button. All right, bye, guys.